Arrived in Sri Lanka. Overloaded.
Fish.
Oh, fishing.
Like at the beachside. Center.
And you have like a lot of tea plantations, no?
Tea plantations, center mountain area.
Oh, I can get.
Colombo back side and Jaffna north side.
What is that building here on the left?
School.
Looked like a church, actually. Church.
Yeah.
Hand fare is 15.
Festival, this church.
Festival today?
Church.
Ah,
Decoration.
When?
Decoration.
When is the festival? Today?
Today or tomorrow.
Oh, are we gonna? We're not gonna be here tomorrow. We're leaving in the morning.
That's us.
This is our hotel. It's my room. A nice bed all to myself. And the balcony. Oh my God, I can stay here a week, I think. Wow. That's great. Look at that. Ooh. That's the life. Some people working hard, some people playing. Like what's new in the world. It was so nice. I went for a swim. It was so refreshing. I loved it. It smells wonderful. You would think you're in Hawaii. You don't even have to get out of your hotel room. You can see lots of things from your balcony. People watch. Look at the boys playing. It must be cricket. Oh yeah, cricket is the national sport here. They're really, really into it. It would be nice if we can get the game. Crash a party tonight. my goodness. What a beautiful morning. Our first morning in Sri Lanka. This is the view from the rooftop. And this is our first Sri Lanka breakfast. This is a traditional Sri Lankan breakfast.
Oh my
The yogurt
God.
was delicious. Okay, tell me again. You know what do I have?
Yeah, you have to put it like this and put it here, a small amount of this one.
What is that called?
That is lunuminis, green chutney.
Green what?
Yeah, green chutney.
Oh, green chutney.
And then you can mix it and then you can eat.
And this is our hotel. Oh, they're cleaning the beach. It's nice. Get company. Oh my God, look at that, that's hardcore. Out in the sun. Look at you, you're so cute. Oh my God, look at that pretty smile. Wow. Look at that. What's your name?
Elisa.
Elisa. And the other one, the pretty one too?
Enos.
Ah, beautiful. How old are you?
Anthony.
How old? How old?
Daughter.
Yeah. Yeah, how old?
Daughter, son.
Oh, but how many? 1, 2,
One.
1. And this one?
3.
3. Oh, beautiful. Bye. Bye.
They're from
New York.
New York,
Yeah.
America.
Can you say bye? Can you say bye? Bye. Oh. I'm gonna show you my video. You're so shy. How come? Why? Why are you so shy? Look at your sister with a pretty smile. See? See the pretty smile? She's adorable. Yay. I'm not gonna get a smile out of him, am I? Look how pretty. Oh, this is like a graveyard. And that's the church. This is where they were having the festival last night, the church festival. It was so loud, the music. They were having fun. It's my companion. He's following me. I stop, he stops. That's what you call. Oh my goodness. Oh, how nice. Look at that, right by our hotel. To go back and investigate. They're setting sail. Oh, this is beautiful.
The words for thank you very much and the greeting Ayubowan a little bit later, yeah? So Ayubowan. So I will actually break it down so you can actually easily say it, yeah? And so first of all, we'll actually be going to the fish market in Negombo, which is only like 10 minutes away from here. And then you can actually see the fish market and then also the vegetable and the fruit market right by there. So it's a local market and you know you can get a feel of the place. And afterwards we'll be doing the city tour of Colombo, and we're actually taking the backward road to Colombo instead of taking the main road. So you can actually see the rural country, not really the countryside but the suburbs of Colombo, but which is very very different from the city, yeah. And for the three of you, Nancy, Margot and Carmen, yeah, sorry. This is the crew who will be traveling with us in Sri Lanka. So you of course know my name. I'm Sumeda is my name, but you can call me Su, just SU. And then our very helpful busboy is Sanjay, and our excellent chauffeur is Vijay, yeah? Vijay, yeah. So pound for pound, he's the best driver in the country. Don't be fooled by his size or his looks.
I never heard of that.
He's older, and then I'm also much older than Alu. And I just have a trivia, and you can guess how. It's a little bit cloudy, yeah. Always wear enough sunscreen, because we are very close to the tropics, and even with a cloudy sky you can get burnt very very easily, yeah. So strict legislation was passed where you can't keep any wild animal as a pet, yeah. So still you might see these local gypsies, as they're called, who actually of South Indian origin, who are actually a migrated group who came out to Sri Lanka in the last 300 years or so, yeah. And then we'll actually be taking a look at one of the larger temples a little bit later. But of course, yeah. So from the Golf Face Hotel, which I will show you today, which is under renovation, we have moved to the Grand Oriental Hotel for the last night. Because we are in the Bay of Bengal, but all around it is the Indian Ocean. Yeah. And it's roughly the size of West Virginia, only 25,000 square miles in size. And from north to south, it is 225 miles at the longest point. And from east to west at the widest point, it's 140 miles. So we are approaching the Negombo town and the fish market, and the blue roof that you see on the left hand side, that's the fish market here. Yeah. And on the right hand side, that's the old rest house. That building, yeah. Fish being dried out in the sun here. So what happens is that port and some like the small mackerel and the sardines, they are just soaked in salt water and then dried out in the sun. So for the larger fish, it is filleted and then soaked in a thick concentration of salty water and then dried out in the sun. We'll actually be getting off here and walking through.
Oh my gosh. You can smell the fish. I wonder how come the birds that don't eat them.
Yeah, the sprats are just kids attached to the bone. Yeah.
Do they sell them like this, or do they package it?
They would actually package it, and sometimes they would actually see it like out in the market, like in a large bag, and then they would sell it by the kilo, because in Sri Lanka we follow the metric system. So they will actually and then cover it with the plastic sheet.
When it rains.
And yeah, before it gets wet again. Yeah.
Yeah.
And crows are not here is because it's too salty for them.
But I was wondering.
Yeah. And of course,
Salty.
too salty. Yeah. And of course, they get enough to eat from the fish guts and the leftovers. Yeah.
Where are the fish guts?
Somewhere over there. Variety of the fishermen. So they have their little enclosures where they can keep their fishing tackles and the equipment. You can find it in the hotel buffets later on, but it can be very, very salty and sometimes very spicy as well. Yeah.
Is there a name for it?
Sorry.
Is there a name for the curry made from the dry fish?
Dry fish curry, and the Sinhalese word is karola. Karola is the name for dried fish. Yeah.
Calamari.
Yeah, the calamari. Yeah.
Where is my mom?
I love squid.
Yeah, see, because it's actually.
Oh wow.
All the
No, US.
US.
Yeah.
And which part of the America? New York.
Yeah, New York. How did you know?
Yes, yeah, New York. You take natural and flying fish, you see flying fish. Flying fish. So you take good product, it's flying fish from here.
This is a flying fish? Wow. Look at that.
Yeah, gutted.
Yeah,
It does look like an airplane. It's mackerel, and they have tuna and barracuda.
They lived in Japan for 3 years.
That's how they get it so nice and neat.
Efficient seagoing vessels, and you can see that they have one large sail, and some of them they can actually have a second sail as well, which is actually used for directing the boat. Yeah.
Is there a name for those boats?
No, over there that's two boats. No, that's actually two boats. Yeah, that's two boats over there.
I thought so too.
Yeah, but the one over there, you can see that it has two sails. Yeah. And the reason why they are going in that direction is because there's a river mouth over there, and with all the sewage coming out from the river, the small fish come to eat the sewage, and then the large fish come to eat the small fish.
Oh, how appetizing.
It's where only the larger fish are caught, and that's actually not depleting the resources, but unfortunately what has happened is over the last 20 years or so, some of the other countries like Taiwan and South Korea and the Indian Ocean, they use these huge nets which catches everything, like that is where they're anchored during.
Is it safe to come back here to see the boats coming in at 8 o'clock?
It's actually, they start coming in from around say 5 a.m.
They get the fish guts. What did they do that for?
It's like a weight.
And what?
Like to push the...
Oh, to keep them for the salt? To keep them in the salt? Yeah, that's true. Amazing to spend your life here every day. Hard work. And, just putting bait on the line. Yeah, they use the guts. These are different fish. I missed the presentation on that. They fillet them with the bones. Wow. Thank you. Oh, they're so cute, the tiny little ones. Good, and you? They're working, yeah, I can see that. Looking at oh wow, look how precise he is. I've never seen a fish like this. It's good? I'm gonna try.
Yeah, that's where they cut it up. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Avocados.
On the right hand side, yeah, you can see the old Dutch fort, the remnants of the Dutch fort, but that's the little that you can see today, yeah? Not much, yeah?
Do you have any of the old immigrant Dutch families?
Actually, there are some Eurasian families who are still here, Eurasian, and they are called burger, B-U-R-G-H-E-R, burgers in Sri Lanka, and which actually interestingly comes from the Dutch word for a city dweller. So in Sri Lanka, the Eurasians are commonly known as burgers.
But Eurasian is Asia and Europe.
And Asia and Europe, and of course, like, you know, because the Dutch families, they intermarried with the locals. So what actually first happened was, when the Portuguese were here, they actually intermarried with the locals, and then they were like a little bit of the upper social caste in the coastal area. Of course. And then when the Dutch were here, they married them. And then of course the English also later married on some of these Sinhalese and European mix.
Do they still own large tracts of land?
Not really, no.
Okay.
And here you can see on the right hand side the lagoon and all these boats which go out to catch fish. And the larger boats, they go out to catch fish for a few days, at least like 4 days and up to 2 weeks. But the small boats, like the catamarans that you saw going out, they just go out for a few hours. Yeah.
None of them live on the boats?
No, they don't live on the boats. They actually live in the villages. And here we are driving through the mangroves, and then we're actually crossing over to an island which is connected by this bridge.
Do you see Sri Lanka changing for the 22nd century?
I mean,
people coming in building condominiums, building
not
hotels?
really. I mean, you know,
No,
I mean,
not
this
yet?
is not
Okay.
yet, yeah. And that's a good thing. And here you can see the beautiful side of the boards, yeah. And we'll actually be passing another bridge in about 2 minutes. So we'll actually drive slow so you can click away. And you can see all these people, you know, who are dressed around here. These are fishermen, yeah, the local fishermen, yeah.
They're selling fish.
That's actually the ornamental fish.
Goldfish. Yeah.
Yeah.
What are those ones? Koi.
Excuse me, here you can see the mouth of the lagoon, and on the right hand side you can see the ocean and all these fishing boats which come here after a few days of catching fish. They would actually come here early in the morning. Yeah. And on the left hand side is the lagoon, and you can see some of the birds like the white egrets and the grey herons out here on the left hand side. Side, you can see the old canal built during the Dutch period, and this was actually for the transportation of goods along the coastal area of Sri Lanka. And what the Dutch did was they interconnected the shallow lagoons and the river mouths and the rivers with a series of canals all the way from the northwest, the southwestern part of Sri Lanka up to the southern tip of the island for roughly about 150 miles long, where they interconnected them with the canals, and so the barges could transport the goods, especially the spices, easily from one trading post to the other. And they would actually have their ships ship them out to Europe every couple of weeks from the main centers, the harbors at the time, which was the southern city called Galle or Gaul in the southern part of Sri Lanka, and from Colombo. And the canal was a little bit deeper, and originally it was about 8 to 10 feet deep, and now it had silted up, but in most places it is quite deep. And now it is only used by the fishermen, and you can see the fishing boats anchored here along the banks, which are used by the fishermen to come up to their homes along the canal. and was built by the Dutch, and only because this British governor cleaned it up, it is known as the Hamilton Canal now. And there are plans to have boat cruises along the canal from Colombo up to Negombo, especially for tourism purposes, but that has not come into effect as yet. And this canal connects onto a large river flowing close to Colombo, known as the Kalani River, the 5th longest river in Sri Lanka, which is 104 miles long. So Kalani River mouth is the end of this canal. And in a couple of minutes we'll be coming up to that river and crossing that river into the city of Colombo. So Colombo incidentally grew from the 13th century onwards as a small port which was used by the Arab traders, and the name comes from the Sinhalese word Colombo, meaning Tota meaning port, and Colom meaning the port with green mango trees. Colombo means, so the local word is Colombo, which was shortened afterwards. Colombo became Colombo, and the British anglicized the word to Colombo. And in the Portuguese times it was known as Colombo or Colombo, and later on, of course, the anglicized version Colombo is how it is known. And Colombo is the commercial capital of Sri Lanka, with a population of more than 1 million people. And in the whole island of Sri Lanka, the whole population is 22 million. Colombo is the most westernized city in the country by far, and as you travel around the country you will notice that the residents of Colombo are quite different, like especially in their clothing, apart from the rural village areas. And Colombo, of course, is a modern city, and it is developing quite fast as well. And along the road here you will notice some of the local fish sellers selling their fish as well. And then the local sellers selling them by the roadside here.
In Colombo now? This is Colombo?
No, these are the suburbs. We are still not in the city. Level goes up about 1.5 feet. The burning of seashells or corals. So that's actually which gives it a smooth finish. And like, so the house on the right hand side, the 2-storied one, so that's actually how it has been finished. And this is the river I was talking about, the Kalani River. And onto the right hand side you can see the skyline of Colombo in the distance. And this is the river mouth here of the Kalani River. This river starts in the central mountains and then flows down onto the western side of the island and down to Colombo here.
There's some shanty houses.
Yeah, on the shanties like this. But now actually the government has a new program where the land is taken over, because these are actually like squatters who don't have a legal claim to the land, and new high-rise apartments are built for them, and the land is utilized more efficiently.
At least a place to live.
No, Sri Lanka does not have any natural disasters or prone to natural disasters like that. And but having said that, the worst natural disaster to hit Sri Lanka was the Boxing Day tsunami of 2004 on 26th December 2004. And apart from that, Sri Lanka is not prone to any cyclonic attacks or hurricanes. Yeah, it's very rarely that Sri Lanka experiences some heavy, strong winds like that. Goes as the precinct at Colombo 15. Yeah. And there's a interesting joke about how the British administrators, the postal officers went about it, because actually the numbering from 1 to 15 is very haphazard. So probably they did it over a couple of bottles of scotch or something, otherwise, you know, like, because there is no uniformity in the numbering system. System is, again, as I said, is provided free by the government. Bus that we are traveling on now, this is actually Japanese made. It's a Mitsubishi. Yeah.
It's a man.
Right, okay. Sri Lanka has always been a monogamous family system. But of course, in the ancient times, the kings, they would actually have large harems or a large number of concubines as well. Among the general public in Sri Lanka, it had been a monogamous society. It's a Portuguese church in the early 16th century, and there is a small statue of Saint Anthony inside the church, which is considered to be a miracle with miraculous powers. And today is a feast day, because Tuesdays and Fridays are when a lot of devout Catholics come here, and you can see that's because of the few vehicles around here, and especially during the evenings this place can be very crowded. So now we will drive up to the old colonial part of the city, and onto the left hand side of us is the bazaar of Colombo, the bazaar known as Petta, P-E-T-T-A-H, Petta. So it has a grid pattern which was actually introduced during the Dutch period, and they laid out the city, the Colombo Bazaar, in a grid pattern back in the 17th century, in the late 17th century. Lucky numbers which are printed on the tickets here on the right hand side, and it's kind of a addiction among some people in Sri Lanka. I would say roughly about maybe 30 or 40% of the population, they would buy these lottery tickets at about 15 cents each, and where you stand to win a couple of $100,000 if you hit the jackpot, but it's only like every 6 months or so somebody wins a jackpot. Yeah, we are not getting down, but we are driving past another Muslim mosque. And on the right hand side you can see the Sri Lanka Ports Authority, and this clock tower is known as the Khan Clock Tower, K-chain, Khan Clock Tower, because it was donated by a Muslim philanthropist, one Mr. Khan, in the early 20th century. Here on the right hand side you can see the Khan Clock Tower. So here you can see some of the ethnic war or civil conflict which was launched by some extremist Tamil groups, the minority group in Sri Lanka, the Tamils, who were fighting for a separate country in the north and the east of the country. And
York Street. This is where we're gonna stay for the last night. This is the foundation stone. Look how cute. I wonder if it gets internet. that's what it used to look like.
Yeah, so this building is known as the Cargill's building, this red building. So this is actually built in the Neo-Gothic or the Victorian Gothic.
I think I have a little bit. That's our lunch being made. Yeah, the Sri Lanka Independence Hall, and this depicts the history of Sri Lanka all around.
It was actually a bipartisan agreement between the British and the Sinhalese governments. And I will explain what happened in this later on.
Replica of a Buddha in the northern part of Sri Lanka, the Alpina region, and there is a cross between the feet, and when it rains, a drop of water travels down the nose, hits the chest, just grazes the chest, and then hits right in between the cross. And over the years in the original, right between the cross there is a little indentation because this is like before Christ, so it has been going on for many years. Isn't that amazing? And this is a replica that's exactly the same proportions as the original, 39 feet high, and the same proportions.
Guys, you want a picture?
Yeah.
Ama Center of Sri Lanka, known as the Lotus Pond, because it's in the shape of a lotus flower on the left hand side. The Lotus Pond on the left hand side. In Colombo, or the green lung of Colombo, known as Vihara Mahadevi Park, named after a Sri Lankan queen. And on the left hand side is the national.
What is the national animal for Sri Lanka?
Lion.
Okay, and a flower?
Yeah, and the national flower is called the blue water lily. Yeah, the blue water lily. Street artists who are mostly students from the arts faculty of the Colombo University. That's the Sri Lanka Tennis Association, as you can see on the left. Yeah. And most of the courts here are hard court courts. Yeah, and not lawn courts or grass courts. It's hard court. On the left hand side here, it is the National Museum of Sri Lanka. On the left hand side, the National Museum, which is under repair at the moment. Yeah.
That place back
Looks
there.
pretty.
And again, we'll be driving past the old race course building in Colombo, which is now again converted into a shopping mall and a restaurant area. And during the British period, horse racing was quite popular, but after independence in 1948, it was done away with, considering it as too much of a colonial thing to do that. And this is the beautiful building of the race course on the left hand side, and now it is converted into a shopping mall and restaurants. And there is a rugby football grounds beyond that.
KFC.
Yeah, as you can see. Right hand side is the same school I showed you. So it is the premier boys school in Sri Lanka, because education was segregated when it was started off in the British period in the early 19th century, 75 marks at the final exams. But now it is called A or B or C or D. At the moment it goes as A, B, C, D, E and F. So they actually have a distant learning program. And the Colombo University is the largest university in Sri Lanka with more than 15,000 students.
And the rest
And it is very, very competitive, because in Sri Lanka there are no private universities so far. There are some affiliated colleges, as they are called, but not government approved universities like private universities in the country. There is an entrance on the other side, yeah. But from this angle you actually get the best view of the temple with the lake.
Oh, buoy.
And you can see an island in the center of the lake, and this is the lake known as Beira Lake, B-E-I-R-A, Beira Lake. And
Oh, like the bridge. Look at the bridge.
This was known as Slave Island in the ancient times in the Dutch period, because
This mask reminds me of someone, and I remembered who. I know, kinda.
no, they're not selling it.
Isn't everything carved out of wood?
Yeah, but this actually you can see the
Detail,
of this, yeah, like it's from
Really nice.
Yeah.
Carmen, did you buy an elephant?
The elephant's coming out of my ears.
What did you do with your elephant at home?
The big one?
Yeah, the big one.
I think he sold. I have a huge elephant at home.
Oh, really?
Huge.
Yeah.
Choose women.
Se pasa allá.
As a replica of the White House and the Capitol Hill and the Supreme Court building, all three in one. Yeah, that was actually a gift from the United States government in 1927. And this area is popularly known as the Town Hall area, because this is the City Hall. Yeah, so it's known as the Town Hall area. Just one round. Yeah. Yeah, leaving at 7:30, please.
What's that building? All this little...
And this is actually, no, this is actually the post office. This is a Bible society. And
No, that orange.
no, that's a Muslim mosque. It's a Muslim mosque. Yeah. Muslim mosque, and this is a Baptist church. Yeah. City Hall. And then as you turn on to the right here, the building, the yellow and red color building on the left hand side, this is actually part of the hospital complex. It is known as the Victoria Memorial, because it was built to commemorate the Golden Jubilee of Queen Victoria in 1903.
Interesting.
This is the Colombo prisons, the prisons of Colombo. Yeah, on the right hand side, the prisons. Yeah, and it houses about 3,000 inmates here, and it's quite a large prison here. As you can see, all this area is the prison area. 8 area, and then we are crossing into the Colombo 9 area. And then from the Colombo 9 area, we are going out of the city of Colombo by crossing again over the bridge over this river called the Kalani River. But we are actually crossing over via a different bridge.
Are you going to give us some more sheets as we go along?
I'm afraid not, like, you know.
You are?
See what you
No,
started?
I'm not like, you know, this is...
Our hold is like too short.
There is buildings onto the like at 2 o'clock, yeah?
Yeah.
So this is actually some of the land which had been taken over by the government where the previous slums were, and they have actually evicted the people from there, but after building this they have been allocated apartments here. So this is actually the new concept in Colombo, which is a really good thing.
Get it cheaper in New York.
What?
Go ahead. You're the first one.
They even have it in Greek.
Don't sit over here.
Happy to Sri Lanka.
Saudi Abrum.
So when you're at Tiger, you keep doing the first thing with your knowledge of book reading.
Yeah.
Waiter goes, tell all your studying get further in the first time you're studying
Oh yeah?
Ooh, look at us having a romantic meal. Blackout. That's our dessert.
It will be like, you know, difficult to keep a count. So please hand it over to the reception when we are